Hello everyone, this is Wei, and today we're going to talk about OpenLive3D, and this is the devlog for September. A lot of things had happened in September. We actually opened up a dev stream. We start streaming from September 11th to September 22, and we have a 10-day streaming to do a rewritten of OpenLive3D. So we completely rewrite the core structure, and also not just the core structure, but we also modularize a lot of different module in OpenLive3D. Other than that, we're adding several different functions such as the thread management. We can have single thread right now, and also we have some icon changes, UI changes, and we also add a visual effect option. And there are also some work in progress that we start to try to figure out how to make OpenLive3D available on Safari, and also we try to make it available on mobile as well. It's still a work in progress. There are 6 different obstacles that we identify, and we already solved 5 of them. There are one thing that we are still debugging, solving, and ideally we should be able to solve it in October, which is this month. And there's one thing that I would also like to do, and I have started working on that, is the tutorial. And we can talk about that later, right? So for the first thing, this is the structure after the rewritten, right? So we now have 4 different repositories. We have the module, we have the core, and we also have the GitHub IO, which is the website, and we also have the Electron, which is the app version that I'm currently using for the model part. And you can see the structure is quite different from what we had, right? So the structure, including the core on the top, and also the module that were interactive with the core, and also with the website, and also the app, right? So the website and the app will only contain the HTML and also the interface, right? I hope you can see the interface manager, right? So for Electron and also for the website, they will have different HTML and different interface. But for the module part and the core part, website and also Electron will be utilize the same modularized system, so that we don't have to change everything when we updated a new feature, right? We just need to change the core, or we just need to change the module, and both the Electron and also the website will benefit from it, right? So another thing that we had done is the thread, right? So now inside setting, in general setting, and then there is a multi-thread option, right? This one is default to true, and also I will not recommend anyone to use it, since it's actually will introduce some bad performance. We'll only have around 20 FPS if you disable it. Please only use it when you are having a very bad hardware, right? That is the only use case. This function, the single thread option, is actually designed for Safari and mobile, since on Safari and also on mobile, they will not be able to use multi-thread. So let me quickly show you where these functions are, right? So inside setting, inside general, and you scroll down to the bottom, there is a multi-thread option. I will not disable it right now, since we will actually make the entire OpenLive3D very slow. So let me close it again, and let's switch back to our PowerPoint. Cool. So the next one that we had done is the icon. And the icon, as you can see, we changed the face only and upper body icon. It is now a lot better in terms of how you can recognize what is going on. The face only just have a face. Upper body is your face plus shoulders and also your hand, right? So currently we're using the upper body option, right? As you can see, we can see our hand. There are 2 different backgrounds. One is in black, one is in gray. The black one is when you had actually selected the tracking mode, and the gray background is the one that is the option that you are not currently using. And we didn't just introduce some new icon. We actually introduced some new UI setting as well. So let me quickly demonstrate how this works. Right. So as you can see, after you click the tracking mode, it will open up two different tracking options. And right now we're tracking with hand, and if we're clicking the face only, we will be tracking with face only. If I raise my hand, you will not see the hand raising anymore. So this type of UI layout is called collapse mode. So inside the setting, in the UI, you will see that there are both options for mood as well. So in the mood UI, if you click this collapse option, you will see that the entire mood selection will be collapsing. Right, so I can still select a different mode into angry, and then I can select back to auto. And if I click back to deselect the UI, the mood UI collapse, you can see that all the mood will be expanded again, right? So by default, the tracking mode will be in collapse format, and the mood selection will not be in collapse format, since it's easier for one to select different mood that they want. So going back to our PowerPoint, the next thing that we developed is the effect. Right, so inside effect there are 4 different options, right? One is the background, which we actually already had inside setting. We just move it from setting into visual effect. And also we have the screen modification. Currently there is only one option, which is blur. And also we have flare and lightning to change the direct light color. We would like to add a backlight, which is not there yet. We would like to use the tutorial to introduce that. And also we have a particle effect, which we currently only have rain effect, but we will like to add more, of course. So let me quickly change back to OpenLive3D, and let's see the visual effect. Right, so inside our menu there is a visual effect, and inside visual effect we already know the background, which we can change the color. I will not demo again. We can also upload image. I found that a few people don't know that we can upload image. We do have this option, and you can remove the image if you want to change it back to the default color, or not default color, want to change it back to a blank color. And we also have added this blur effect, right? So let's see. Right now you can see that the model is a lot blur, and you can also change the blur effect with different scale. And let's just move it. And the next one is the direct light color, which we can also select the color as well. But we currently only have front light, so it is a lot like simple. It's actually a simple function. If we add a backlight and we have a backlight color, I think it will be a lot more flexible and dynamic. You can change different effect. Currently we only have front light color, so it's not as, might not be as dramatic as you would like. And also there are particle effect. Let me deselect the color. And we also have the particle effect. Currently we only have rain, so this is a rain effect. And in this rain effect, we can also change the color to like white. So we got like white rain. You can add this, increase the speed. It will be a lot more intense. Let's decrease the speed, and let's change it to maybe 1. And change the width to higher, right? So this is the way that you can kind of like having snow effect, like just decrease the speed, increase the width, change the color to white, and you are like getting snow effect. You can also add the intensity, like you have more particles. Yeah, if you directly add that, you will have one extra layer. But at the end, after this layer of snow reach the end, the rest of the snow will be a lot more like evenly distributed. Yeah, let's wait for these snow to reach the end, and you will see that it's no longer that saturated, although still quite saturated though. You might need to wait for it to go through it a few times until it's evenly distributed, or you can actually add the speed of it, so it's like a lot faster to reset. Anyway, that is the rain effect. You can actually play around with it. There's an angle that can slightly change the direction of the rain, kind of. Yeah, slightly change the direction of the rain. They are not very dynamic, but yeah, at least you can still play around with it. And yes, that's the rain effect that we have. And let's go back to our PowerPoint. And other than these, we have some work in progress that we had saved, right? So we noticed that the final obstacle that we face for OpenLive3D to be used on Safari and also mobile will be that Safari and also mobile, specifically iPhone, is blocking the autoplay option for Safari or your mobile to capture the webcam information, right? So when you are playing your webcam in the background, it cannot be automatically played. It can only be used when it is in the foreground. But in OpenLive3D, the video capture is always played in the background, at least by default. It's always played in the background. So we will need to add a play button for user to interact with it to actually trigger the webcam capture for the mobile or the Safari option, right? So these two, Safari and also mobile, will also be default to single thread, since multi-thread is not an option there. And we would like to add a tutorial for how to add a new visual effect. Right, so these tutorial videos will likely be out in the first week in October. We would like to have more contributors. We'd like to have more contributions. And yeah, please add more effect. We currently already have 3. Let's add more effect to OpenLive3D and make it a lot more flexible, dynamic, and make it more powerful. And there are some to-dos. So I have already tried to play around with the 52 blend shape option provided by Google in their new MediaPipe facial landmark tracking library. And it's actually quite powerful. If we got a 52 blend shape VRM file, which I do happen to get some from others' document. I don't have a 52 blend shape of myself, but I do got others VRM model with 52 blend shape. It's quite good. I would say it can capture your facial expression a lot better than currently what we have. However, how we could potentially utilize these information and use the new facial landmark model for these 52 blend shape inside OpenLive3D is still something that we'll need to consider and design. One option is that we automatically detect it if the VRM have the 52 blend shape option. If the 52 blend shape option is available for the VRM file, then we enable this 52 blend shape option. Another option, another idea is that we provide a check selection so that the user can check if their VRM file is in 52 blend shape and they would like to use it this way. Another thing is that for full body tracking is actually a lot more difficult for compared to what we are currently having, because we know that the old media pipe Google ML model for pose tracking, it's very bad in terms of its z-axis, right? So for the x and y axis, it's quite good, no problem, since that's just the x and y of the image. But the z-axis is pretty bad and it's basically unusable. That's why we written our own arm detection or arm tracking rotation library. It is say that the new Google model for pose z-axis detection is a lot better. I hope it is. I will test it and see if we can actually utilize that, and if that is useful, we could also potentially use that for full body tracking as well. Currently, full body tracking is still not an option. We already add the corresponding icon in our assets, but we are not using them. And we will also like to think about how we could potentially add the state catch. Currently, after you change a setting and you close the app, you open the app again or the website again. If you have the save setting option checked, then you'll see that the settings are saved, but only the settings. If you are changing the position of your VRM model, the rotation of your VRM model, or for some of the new functions that we added for the visual effect, those will not be saved. I'm thinking maybe we should have this state save or quick state catch also save somewhere, like maybe in the right side of the windows, so that you can quickly select from different state in terms of like visual effect and also in terms of the position of the model, rotation of the model. It might help you to do streaming by quite a lot. And we also like to add a recording function for mobile, because if you are using OpenLive3D on mobile, it makes zero sense because you are not able to use OBS Studio to broadcast that, right? So if only we add a recording function for mobile, will it make sense for mobile users to use it? So this is another to-do list item that we would like to work on. And yes, we have a lot of things in September, and we will also like to have quite some items in October as well. Yeah, that's it for this month. Thank you. Bye bye.